Okay, we're live. Welcome to another Nerd Stalker interview. Good morning. This is Greg Gloria, aka Social Greg, on Twitter for the Nerd Stalker Media Network. Today we talk with Gagan Luthra, the product marketing manager of Cypress, on how brands like Cypress Semiconductor builds ecosystems for their brands or products. We met Gagan at the Maker Faire this year, 2015, in the Bay Area, and we thought when we looked at his booth and some of the example companies that are actually using Cypress products, I wanted to talk to him more and do a deeper dive on how kind of brands like Cypress Semiconductor create ecosystems around themselves and around their products. So anyway, Gagan, thanks for joining us on Nerd Stalker live from Seattle, right?
Hey Greg, how are you? Yeah, live from Seattle. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, it's a typical Seattle day there. No, not typical, but it's been pretty.
Absolutely is. The summer looks like it's winding down. It looks like ready for fall. We've got some nice misty rain and an overcast day. Pretty typical.
We're already ready. Yes, you're ready for your winter or fall, I guess, coming up. So,
Winter is
hey, anyone, anything that you want to share about your background with the Nerd Soccer audience?
Sure. I'm with Cypress, and I have been with Cypress for about 10 years. I joined the company straight out of school when I got my degree in electrical engineering here from Washington State. Go Cougs! I was introduced to Cypress as while I was a student. Doing design, senior design projects, trying to build new technology. So it was an interesting phase going from a student to a professional. Over the years at Cypress, I've done a few different things. I've done some software development. I've managed some offshore teams. I've done some system level testing, and eventually found my way into product marketing because I realized at the end of the day I had a love for the product and I wanted people to know about it, other people to learn from it and develop with it. And then personal passions. I like blending my professional side with the nerd side of things. The DIY maker side, which is why you met me at Maker Faire, of course. I have a personal passion for that side of our technology, and it's really nice to see technology become available at a price point and at a ease of use point where you don't have to be that PhD guy sitting in an office for 16 hours a day trying to develop something. You can do something at home on the weekends when you have the spare time or you just have a passion for it.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think the world has changed a little bit with the maker movement that Make Media has created around itself, and just kind of the democratization of a lot of things. I've noticed accessibility is one thing. I mean, I think I saw a 16-year-old kid, or no, 14-year-old kid who was a CEO of his own company building a microcontroller. So I mean, that just speaks to what we're talking about today, which is building a brand ecosystem. So at the last Maker Faire, it was apparent that a lot of the chip manufacturers, licensors like ARM, chip manufacturers like Atmel, Intel, TI, and of course Cypress Semiconductor, were reaching out to the maker community and in kind of hopes of building their community or creating their own innovation ecosystem. So, was that something that at Cypress Semiconductor you guys were trying to do?
Absolutely. It's obvious that microcontrollers come from the professional world, the commercial side of things, but they've found their way into the hobbyist and the maker side of things. And for the longest time, there's been that big wall between these two sides of engineers, so to speak, or creators. And other companies have tried to bridge that gap by doing a few different things. Cypress has got its own thought process on how we want to go about it. We feel like if we make the technology and make it easily accessible by doing various things like offering free software tools or offering hardware at a price point that's accessible to the average maker. Though that's one of the ways we're trying to bridge that gap and bring the technology from the professionals to the makers, while still holding its professional grade quality. So you can be that 16-year-old CEO of a company, but make something real, make some products that could sell in the real market and make profits at the end of the day if that's what you're looking for. And besides enabling the technology pieces in terms of hardware and software, it's also the education around the technology, and I think that's almost more important than the former. The enablement in terms of, you know, teaching people about your product, teaching them what you can do with it, how to do it, and then giving them various different ideas of, you know, here's the 10 or 100 or 1,000 different things I can build with. Because really, at the end of the day, I feel like we all work with inspiration. The more we see around us, the better we learn from that, and we add our own little thoughts to it, our own little creative design process to eventually create something that we want. And the whole maker movement's collaborative. You know, it's learning through doing and learning through sharing. So we're strong proponents of that as well. The more we share, the more we teach and learn from each other, I think the better it is for everyone at the end of the day.
You brought up something that I just thought about when you mentioned about accessibility and everything. And it's not only, it seemed like the price points are coming down. Access to information is also available through YouTube and other things. And I know you guys do a good job of that, right?
Absolutely, and it's a byproduct of being in the times we are, with the internet being so ubiquitous and all of us walking around with the computer in our pockets. Back in the day, if you wanted access to information, you were trying to go through official channels, knocking on the doors of these big companies that may or may not have the time for you, depending on how much revenue you're bringing into them. You had to go through catalog and distribution partners, which is why there's another whole industry around supporting engineering companies and bridging the gap between them and the users. But today, with the internet, with websites have made it easy to access information, be it product information or technical documentation and stuff. Uh, Platforms like YouTube are excellent, right? They're enabling you and I to talk today, sitting hundreds of miles away from each other. But also, YouTube has become a great platform to show or teach people something using videos. I do that all the time around the home. I had to fix something in my kitchen the other day, and rather than trying to read a user manual on my garbage disposal on how to fix it, I watched literally a 60-second YouTube video, and I was able to fix it and impress my girlfriend with my handyman skills. But so that, PSOC's doing a lot of the same things. Cypress is doing a lot of the same things. We're creating these tutorials, and it doesn't take too much to do them, but the value in having them out there for people to access and learn from, I think, is highly immense. And we've had some good responses to our tutorial videos that we've put out through YouTube. And there's other engineering communities like GitHub, where people post and share projects. We've done a lot of that, and we've got hundreds of example projects of systems or different applications that you can build with PSOC. Our engineers build them at work, after hours, maybe on the weekend as a hobby when someone's got a good idea. And then we post them in GitHub and share them with the world. So anyone, be it a professional or a maker, can grab that project and start working with it and design something that they're looking for.
Education is an interesting thing that you bring up earlier as well. And before, what I always felt that the chip companies like Cypress Semiconductor was always reaching out to obviously potential engineers like myself who want to use the products and get comfortable with the products so I could use them when I get into the professional world. But these people are not only the engineers of tomorrow, but also the startups of tomorrow, right?
Absolutely, and I'm pretty vocal about that. The students of today are the engineers and professionals of tomorrow, and it's been that way for a while. But the scene is changing. The college dropout of today may be the CEO of a startup that's going to be the next Fitbit or the next Parrot drone company, and there's really no stopping these people, right? Us included. Because of the accessibility of technology, because of the learning and sharing of information. So Cypress does a lot of things with universities and schools. We have a program called Cypress University Alliance, where we have a dedicated team inside the company that works with schools, colleges around the world to not try and dump the technology down their throats and be a commercial company that goes around saying, use my product, but rather we try and use our products, our platforms to teach engineering, to teach electrical engineering or computer science in these EECS programs. With a platform like PSOC, which is this really flexible system on chip, where you've got a microcontroller at the core, you've got some analog fabric to learn how to create circuits, you've got some digital fabric to learn how to create digital logic systems, and now you have communication like Bluetooth Low Energy Wireless that teaches you some of the intricacies of RF communication. You package all of that into a small $1 chip on a easily accessible $25 board, and combined with free software tools that help you visualize the design that you're making, it becomes a great educational platform, and not just a professional platform. So we've somehow managed to kill multiple birds with one stone, and it's not really about killing birds here. It's about enabling users to use the technology. It's about enabling the students of today to realize what they will do in the professional world if they go the DIY or maker route, or if they go with the I want to work for a big chip company or a big consumer electronics company.
God, that's awesome. I mean, I think that one of the things I wanted to ask you is, can you kind of take us through, or take the audience through, of how Cypress Semiconductor kind of creates their own ecosystem of things? You kind of touched a little bit on education. There's other things that you guys do, I noticed, that allow you like events and other things like that.
Absolutely. We start with the chip, right? That enables, and that's the basic fundamental technology. And then we augment it with software development tools. And PSOC Creator is the means to end with all chip designs PSOC. What we've done with PSOC Creator is made a commercial grade IDE that's available free of cost with free compilers like GCC. So there's no barrier to entry, at all. Rather than being a reduced barrier, it's a zero barrier. You get into the platform really easy. And then to learn about the platform, to learn how to do things with the platform, as you were just mentioning, we've got the YouTube videos that are proliferated all over the internet. We've got these example projects in GitHubs and in other engineering communities like Element 14, Cypress's own community forums on our website. And we do other things to talk about the product and to give people a little sneak peek about it so they can come learn. One of the things we're doing is webinars, similar to this, but an online event where you have an engineer come and talk about a topic that he's passionate about, that he's deeply educated on, and shares that with the world. In fact, we have a webinar tomorrow with one of our partners, DigiKey, and the webinar is going to be talking about how to design IoT systems using Bluetooth Low Energy. And that's a pretty hot topic. Everyone's interested in making consumer or industrial products with some sort of connectivity towards it. So if you're interested in that, Wednesday with partner with DigiKey, we have a webinar.
Wow.
And other things in terms of hands-on training in terms of a classroom exercise, where people can come to a Cypress site or one of our partners' site and sit down with a real engineer that acts as the instructor for the class, and you learn with the 25, 30 other people in the classroom. You've got your own hardware, you've got your own computer and your software, and you start with some baby steps, learn how to say the hello world or blink an LED, and at the end of the day leave with having built your own heart rate monitor with Bluetooth and an analog system, and you walk away with that. You walk away with the education, you walk away with the awareness, but you also walk away having built something with your own hands that you can use, that you can show off to your colleagues and your partners, and really open your mind to how to create the next big thing that you want to. So we host these workshops all over the globe, and you can find more information on our website, cypress.com/workshops. Free to attend. Many of them give out free development kits, so hint, hint, that's a good way to snag a free dev kit. And like I said, they're held all over the world, in all cities and countries.
Yeah, I think the outreach of what you guys are doing is, one of the things that I saw that a lot of brands are trying to figure out how to do, right? Through not only educational events, but information like we just talked about on YouTube. Also, community boards as well, right? I mean, you guys have a pretty extensive community board, I know. So, I guess I don't know if these application engineers on your end ever sleep, but they seem to be on it quite a bit.
No, that's a very important thing you hit on. As we were talking about the maker community, and really going back to the engineering community, a lot of engineers, a lot of creators and makers, they learn by collaborating, they learn by sharing. I remember when I was in college, my best way of preparing for a final was not sitting in a corner in the library and cramming on my with my books, but rather trying to get a group together of students and trying to teach each other the subject, because I thought that was the best way for me to develop a strong, deep learning of something. So we do that with, our Cypress forums, as you mentioned, are pretty active on our website. We call it the Cypress Developer Community, and you can go browse by topic or browse by product, depending on what you're interested in. Post your query or just share your information. And in most cases, in 9 out of 10 cases, before a Cypress engineer has looked at that question to try and respond to it, somebody in the community or multiple people in the community have already given their first two or three responses. And then, we just go in there to say, okay, looks like everything's going good. The community is helping itself. But not just on our community, on the Cypress forums, but other communities is where we are active. Element 14 has a pretty active engineering community with over 200,000 engineers sharing ideas about all sorts of different products. We have an active engagement there. Reddit is the internet's most popular community of everything in terms of people, sharing and talking about their common interests. So we've created a PSOC subreddit at reddit.com/r/PSOC, where we've got a growing and budding community of people who are exchanging information and ideas about the systems that they're developing with PSOC. So it all comes down to learning through sharing and learning through collaboration and putting the information out there in the open. So, you say it once, you answer it once, but then hundreds of people benefit from that at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, God, I appreciate that. I think, you really kind of informed the audience a little bit about, I mean, they could, I consider this topic we're talking about almost like a playbook for other startups to use to how to engage into communities. Now, is the social aspect you kind of touched about was kind of the communities, and then the actual face-to-face interaction. How are other social channels doing for brands like yours in terms of community building and information gathering?
Right. When you talk about traditional social media, um, it's excellent, right? The kind of outreach you can have with social media, people live their lives through it. A lot of people get their news through it, right? Gone are the days where I'm picking up a newspaper to see what's going on around me, but I'm browsing my Twitter feed in the morning as I'm getting ready for work to know what's happening around the world. It's the fastest way for me to get information about what's happened today. Um, and different social platforms, I feel, serve different needs. Twitter is a great way to get that quick information, and Cypress does that. We share, any sort of new product development or any sort of events that Cypress is taking part in. Events like these webinars or these workshops that I talked about, industry trade shows, the Maker Fair. We use Twitter to as a platform to communicate with our users, our customers, and all of them included. We use Facebook to really build that community around Cypress and the people who follow Cypress products. And often with Facebook, we see a lot of Cypress employees that are part of our Facebook group or page as well. So you not only learn about Cypress the company, but Cypress the people that are behind the products that we build, everywhere from the vice presidents to the engineers to the manufacturing guys and the assembly lines. We're all big one happy family. And then there's other communities like Google Plus, and this became I found this really popular when we were doing our design contests in conjunction with Arrow Electronics and Make, the Road to Make a Fair design contest with PSOC BLE. We set up with the help of Make, set up a Google community, a Google Plus community, and we found that it was a very focused, engineering focused PSOC community where people were able to exchange their thoughts and ideas, but also multimedia content in terms of here's my project attachment, here's a video of what my project was doing, here's a screenshot of what my schematic looks like. So more than just textual information, there was a lot of multimedia content that enhanced that interaction between users in the community. And again, it came back to collaboration and learning from each other.
Wow, that's excellent. Well, I think, unless you want to talk a little bit more, I could talk to you all day. This is really kind of a cool thing, but I think you need to go help those users. They're probably sending you messages today, and we'll go ahead and close off this interview. But I appreciate your time. This is really valuable information for people who are ever, I think these things that you guys do is not just stuff that a big company does. Of course, there's something that a big company like yours could do, but I think there's nuggets that a startup or a smaller company could take from just the way you talk about how the interaction between the people and who are your customers and potential startup founders, and this is so great. So anyway, thank you. So how can people get a hold of you and get a hold of knowing more about the Cypress Semiconductor ecosystem?
Okay, absolutely. The best way to learn about Cypress and then get in touch with Cypress is through our website, www.cypress.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll find links to contact us and through different channels. If you're looking for technical support, like most companies, you can pick up the phone and call and speak with a real Cypress engineer. Hey, I'm stuck. Here's my problem. Help me move forward. You can create a ticket for technical support and say, here's the issue I'm having. And within 24 to 48 hours, you again get a real engineer to respond with your next steps and how you should move forward. Social media is a great way to get in touch with us. My email address is gagan.luthra@cypress.com. Feel free to email me anytime. I'm here to talk to our users and help you out, move forward in any ways you can. Yeah, it's not hard to find us. We're all over the place.
Yeah, you're pretty big. You guys are pretty big, but I think I like what you guys are doing. And again, I appreciate your support and a chance to talk with you today. So anyway, that was Gagan Luthra of Cypress Semiconductor, the product marketing manager, and I met him through Maker Faire, and he had a lot to say today, and we appreciate that. And he's available. He got his email address now, and he's going to probably get 10,000 more emails after this, but that's okay. That's what he's here for. So anyway, this is Greg Gloria, AK Social Greg on Twitter for the Nerd Stalker Media Network, where we believe in tech, startups, design, and you. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and be careful out there. Hey, thanks a lot, Gagan. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Pleasure being with you.